This is like my first time being out on my own, not working under a farmer who's been doing it for like 30 or 40 years. So the whole thing is a giant experiment, basically, and I'm learning all sorts of stuff that I never had to think about, really, which is exciting and exhausting. I don't know what else I'd really be doing. I like to work. Otherwise, you know, you feel a little lost in life. I like to have my purpose and my routine out here. I like to be out on the farm.
A butcher mentor of mine told me a story one time. He raises primarily pigs and they eat only what he raises. And so at times they are eating only bacon for every meal. That is part of the discipline of eating whole animals. And one morning, one of his sons said to him, "Dad, I don't like bacon." And he said, "No, son, you're wrong." There is a deeper virtue of learning to find the value in these offcuts and the things that you're not familiar with. You didn't just cause the death of a steak, you caused the death of every part of that animal. And there's a responsibility on you to become familiar with every part of that animal.
Nobody's parents are like, you know what you should be when you grow up? A farmer. And there's a reason why. I mean, I get it. You don't make a ton of money, it's incredibly hard work, and you have to have a will of steel. But at the same time, like, it is possibly one of the most rewarding occupations I think out there. You know, or going out to a nice restaurant. Your name's on the menu and it's an incredible dish and you're like, man, this food is so much better because I produced it, you know? It's something you can truly be proud of.
The chef, they can win the award. They can get stars. They can be a rock stars. But, you know, it's not about that. It's not about my signature dish or anything. We change menu daily, dinner especially. It's not that because we have so much time. Yeah, but can I get a lentil, please? Yes. We don't have time, but it has to be. It's the most amazing thing about this menu is like everything's a pick off the ground in the morning that goes in the dish at night. And believe it or not, it is true story. How we are with our farmers, how we are evolving menus, and I never tell them what to grow for me. Now, we use what they grow, and that's a challenge part of us. There's a lot of work for these guys. There's a lot of work for Chris. A lot of work for Marko. And not just him, and his wife Cassidy as well. Like they both, you know. Every time I see Dylan, it's all like dirty, and he's always like something's always up. Even his dog's a workaholic. So both of them, they're like. I want all these farmers to keep growing. I want to grow together. It's all about the food. It's all about the community. I believe in that. I'm from Burma. Like, there's nothing over there in the country. You know, I was poor. I didn't know what to do in this country. While I'm going to school, I was just like always cooking at home, reading books, looking at videos and TV shows and cooking shows all the time. And every time I cook something, it makes me feel happy. it feels happy, and I always want to feed people. We're open from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. 7 days a week, every day. Yeah, it's a lot. Burmese food is a lot of fresh herbs, nuts, fried shallots. Some of the dishes are unique and some of them are like curry, like Indian style. So a lot of fresh, a lot of vegetables. Vegetables like raw vegetables with funky like chili paste, shrimp paste, fish paste that we make in-house as well. Salad, lots of salads. The hot stuff from Chris is a lot of greens, a lot of them. That guy's here 7 days a week, actually. I don't know, he's a maniac, you know?
Thank you so much.
I don't know, everybody loves him. I love him, I love that dude.
You know, if I'm really on it, I'm getting up at 5:30, 6, firing up the old cappuccino machine. I trade this nice girl vegetables for eggs from her chickens, so I got some nice eggs. Darby, you wanna come outside for breakfast? Yeah, life's good. I usually have a fantastic breakfast. Come here. Good boy. Pretty good for a 16-year-old. Oh, Darby, you ready to go pick some vegetables? Get them out to the people? Oh, yeah. I usually like to take a peek out at the ocean. Make sure I'm not missing out on anything. I'd like to have a little early surf. If it's not happening out there, I just head over to the farm. Come here, Darb. Come on. Come take a seat, dude. Good boy. I've been doing this farm here for about 2 years. We named the farm Darby's Farm after my sweet little buddy here. He's been my companion out on all the farms I've ever worked on for the last 10 or so years, maybe more. My friend Wiley Connell, he was the person that got me into farming. He just called me up one day on the phone and said, "Hey, what's up, guy? Like, do you have a job right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I have a job." He's like, "Well, quit it and come work on my farm with me." So that's how I started. When I was like 22 or 23, I moved out to live around the campfire with Wiley and our dogs. So that's how I got my start here, you know, the kindness of my friend. Man, woo, a little chilly. I wish I had my long pants on today, man. Woo. So the farm here is about 1.5 acres of farmable land, and we use pretty much every bit of it. Trying to rotate all the crops and let some areas rest, switch from the hill to the lower part and back and forth and do some cover crops and stuff. But yeah, 1.5 acres about. I sell maybe like a couple thousand heads of lettuce a month. All right, it's time for some salad mixing. Let's do it. Let's see, we'll start with, I guess we'll start with the red, the little red gems. The Dutchess is my big lettuce consumer. They go through 5, 10, sometimes, 15 cases of lettuce in a week. Everybody's crazy about these little gems nowadays. Just have to cut it once down here on the butt like that, and it just falls apart and makes your salad making experience much more pleasant. They want 15 pounds of the salad mix. So, you know, usually that's about almost a full box. So just kind of, I'm getting pretty good at guessing the weight of boxes of vegetables. People kind of freak out sometimes. I don't think they get to eat lettuce as fresh as this at most other spots, you know? Picked just maybe, I don't know, 3-4 hours before it's delivered. Maybe sometimes 30 minutes depending on how busy it's been. Sometimes they call me up and they say, hey, we just ran out of lettuce. I was like, what? I was just there yesterday afternoon. I know, it was crazy. Can you get here quick? And you know, I hightail it up there with a truck full of lettuce and they get it out on the plates. Keep the folks happy and full, fed, and healthy too. It can be very meditative sometimes. All right. Salad mix is done. Yeah, it takes about 50 days for us to get a little head of lettuce from seed. Planting, harvesting, prepping beds, fertilizing and all that. Usually like every 2 to 3 weeks we're trying to plant another succession. All right, Darb, let's load up. It's a lot. It's a lot for a little piece of land. But I can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner there with stuff that comes from the farm. Saw's, he's getting a lot of local food from a lot of different areas. And I'm just kind of getting into a lot of his cooking because a lot of it has meat in it. And I wasn't doing meat for a long time when I first met him. But, you know, he's getting stuff from Dylan and a lot of farms like the Motley Crew Ranch. It feels better to eat kinder meat.
The way you live your life exposes you to things that will fill you with certain virtues. There's certain virtues that society is losing the less that they inhabit these various agrarian jobs that used to be a part of everyone's life. My butcher teacher term that he's developed is dealing with the burden of the bounty. It's that when you finally kill an animal, you're then responsible for utilizing that whole thing. I am passionate about reviving the culinary culture of our ancestors and traditions. The first reason is just to respect the whole animal and revive that traditional culinary culture that we all come from somewhere. Secondly, to bring back communion to eating. I'd say that the most spiritual connections that people tend to have with each other in average life is sharing a meal together. And I think that that should be engaged with as much as possible. My name is Dylan Boeken. My dog's name is Gus, and I'm a shepherd here in Ojai Valley. So I got into this because I wanted to do ecological restoration work. I get to restore rangeland while also producing the most nutritious meat that you can get on the market and also make a salary to raise a family on. People do not ever imagine that 90% of the work is building electrical fence, and that is the bread and butter of any mob grazing, holistic plan grazing, livestock operation. Is you're going to be putting up and taking down a lot of fence. As far as I can tell, every job is like this. There is the cool part of the job that is the reward at the end of a long day of just everything else that you have to do to get there. And fence building is exactly that. It's monotonous and repetitive, but I honestly love it. And I love it because I get to be out there. Even though I'm just unfolding fence and it's frustrating, you're gonna get twisted up in it, it's gonna get stuck on everything, it's gonna be hot. But during that time I get to observe the sheep. It justifies me being in one place.
Good job, buddy.
This is a huge part of actually regenerating the landscape, is that I want to significantly impact it with trampling, with grazing, with dunging and urine, but not overgraze it. And I don't want to leave bare ground. Those are two things that I'm constantly monitoring for. Once a paddock is spent, I move them into the next paddock. I often take that opportunity to train Gus, so I'll put them into a more difficult situation and work the sheep through so that he can get some training.
Gus, that'll do.
All right, Gus, that's enough. Gus, lay down. Gus, lay down. Away. Good boy. So away is counterclockwise, to move around the herd counterclockwise. Away, Gus. Away, away. Good boy. Go by is clockwise. Lay down is obviously lay down. You know, one sheep is the most difficult thing to handle. It's easier to move 700 sheep than a single sheep. A single sheep is one of the fastest things in the world and most disobedient, whereas 700 sheep are really predictable. You know, I've driven up and seen a sheep outside the fence, and before I could say anything, he jumped off the ATV, and I didn't give him a single command. He got around the sheep and walked it up and put it in, which, you know, experienced dog herders will hear that story and think nothing of it. That's what they can do, but for me it was a shocking thing, and so I do try to remember sometimes to give him the space to demonstrate things like that. Go by! Yeah, he's doing really good.
Away. Gentle, bud.
Just the connection that I have with Gus was something totally unexpected. I hadn't thought about working with dogs at all before I became a shepherd. I always just was imagining building electric fence. Yeah, I couldn't do the job without Gus at all. I do this because I want to be involved in the whole that is raising, killing, and breaking down and selling animals to my community. And so I want to be both face-to-face with the sheep and face-to-face with the consumer at the end, the community member. So I'll go out there with Gus, and I have Gus herd the animals past me, and I have him kind of circle them around until I get to the one that I want to catch. And this is just through training my eye to see when an animal looks ready. I crook it, slit its throat, and let it die there and pay respects to it, and then I'll often dress it right there in the field. So I'll skin it, eviscerate it, and then after it's hung and the carcass has kind of become more solid, I'll take it into the butcher shop and break it down. I keep the liver, the kidneys, the heart, the caul fat. That's generally what people are interested in, and I've been working with other people about, you know, taking some other parts of it and cut and wrap it and then deliver it to the customer. I mean, one of the main reasons I'm doing this work at all is to be a useful member of a community and to know that community, you know, and so I am not passionate about scaling this business to the point where I'm just wholesaling, because that doesn't carry the value of being able to know my community and being able to be a real part of my own community. And so it's really just at every single part through the process that I derive the value from this lifestyle, and I think at so many other places. The main dish that the lamb is used in at the Dutchess is the biryani, and it's a puff pastry biryani filled with vegetables and ground lamb, and it's delicious.
Biryani is more like my signature dish. It's the one thing I grew up eating, really love eating from Burma, and I'm very proud of it. Hope he's proud as well. Sourcing best ingredient is the chef jobs, right? I can buy goat from anywhere, but bigger factory, right? But that's not what this menu is about. That's not what our restaurant is about. Goat is like Burmese cuisine, like goat curry. It's like kind of the main thing, just the way even until now my mom's still cooking goat curry, like it's the best. Marcos and I have a great relationship with since we met him. Their farm is like behind the vineyard as well. All this is chicken, birds, and goats and stuff like that. They get fed by leftover stuff from the vineyard. They're just quality meat that you can tell. Like, and I was so nervous, and I purchased so many pounds of goats from him, and I'm not sure that we're gonna have this vibe here, the goat. Guess what? Just the weekend, everything's gone.
We're not from farming backgrounds. We're first generation farmers. We did not go to school for this. We literally watched so many YouTube videos on pretty much anything you can think of, from changing the oil on the tractor to how to butcher a chicken. I'm Cassidy Alexandrou.
And I'm Marko Alexandrou.
It's different. It's different than the average farm.
Job.
Average job,
Yeah.
average farm.
Yeah.
It took us a long time, and we paid out of our own pocket for all the equipment that we decided that we needed, tractors and ATVs and the lumber to build
Trucks and
chicken tractors.
trailers and
All
yeah.
kinds of things, farming, all this stuff. But the other side of that, the benefits of being a first generation farmer is that you don't have those parameters, you don't have those constraints of an older generation saying, oh, well, you have to do it this way. It's like, yes, we have to figure it out the hard way, but through figuring out the hard way, you figure out alternatives and alternative ways of doing things that are potentially more sustainable.
Most people in livestock focus on one species. Like at any given point, we have 12. So it's a whole different ball game.
We have pigs, we have quail, we have pigeons, we have rabbits, we have goats, both dairy and meat, we have sheep, we have meat chickens, laying chickens, geese, turkeys, dogs, donkeys. Yeah, pretty much everything but horses and cows. We got it all. It's harder to have a diversified farm. I need to have the knowledge base, or to at least find out how to take care of all these different species. I mean, that's a super sharp learning curve. When we first started this farm, it wasn't to start a farm. It wasn't to make this our business. It was because I couldn't find humanely raised, sustainable protein in this valley, and that blew my mind because we're surrounded. I mean, this is a beautiful farming community. That was really how the farm started. I started out with meat chickens and said, if I can't kill these chickens, I'm gonna stop eating meat. Turns out it was really hard, and I think that it should be hard to take a life. Who kills an animal that they've raised from a baby and then eats it, right? But that's how we get meat, that's where it comes from, whether you wanna know that or not. It took until I tried the product, and then I was like, this is what chicken tastes like? It was literally a mind-blowing kind of moment.
People don't think about chickens as a seasonal product, but in fact it is, because for us to raise chickens in the winter here, Southern California, it's not a gnarly winter, but chickens are sensitive.
And we're raising them outdoors.
Yeah, we want to raise them on pasture, so
big barn.
You get 4 to 6 inches of rain in one night, those chickens are dead. So that's the reality of raising chickens in the winter. That then becomes a seasonal product, which is mind-boggling to many people because they're like, chickens in the supermarkets all year, all this stuff. Yeah, sure, but if you want to raise it humanely, locally, then chicken can be raised between April and November, and that's it. Producing animals as a small farm isn't always easy. You can't always keep enough product for a menu. Often that can be challenging. We may not have enough quail or enough goat one month, and
that's something that we really appreciate about Saw and the Dutchess too. It's like, it's such a refreshing thing to say, hey, I'm so sorry, we're just out of this one thing and we're not gonna have it for another month. And Saw's like, okay, let's do something else. What else do you have? And he's so creative.
That's the best way for all the chefs and the cooks to think of what you can create. It's not about you pick up the dialing phone numbers and this is the dish I want it to be, the vision. You can do that, but being a chef is all about challenge and every day. live in the chaos. That's the hard part. Gotta keep doing it. It's become a life. Every single day of non-stop communicating with it. Everybody. From the prep teams to the sous chefs, myself, the providers, everything. Always this phone is like popping every day, like crazy, day and night. It can be mediocre food that you're gonna have this curry somewhere else. It can be that. Each dish gotta say something. It is demanding and it's really hard to keep that standard every day.
We live in a place where you can grow whatever you want all year round.
Except for chickens.
Well, pretty much. Pretty much.
It is a product of our love and our dedication and our belief system, that these animals deserve better than, living life in an industrialized setting, for sure. It really did make a big difference for me to know that those chickens got to be chickens. They got to scratch around, they got to be in the sunlight, they got to do all the things that chickens are supposed to do, And that when it was time for them to go in the freezer, it was as humanely and as quickly as possible.
It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of perseverance, but there's a huge market out there, and we're only scratching the tiny surface of it over here.
And we need more farmers, we need more small farms, and we need more people to be conscious of better ways to do things.
Shepherding has always been monotonous. It's long days just watching sheep. There is no real weekend as long as you own livestock. Accepting the reality that you are responsible for something 365 days a year at all times, and then being there to be able to end its life. It's a necessary part of this business, especially for selling to restaurants, but it's the greatest honor to be able to raise the sheep and be the one who ends it. It trusts you more than anything. It's most at peace if you are doing your job right to be killed by its own shepherd. And so I'm very honored to be able to play that role as well.
I like a nice phone call. Hey, we're in a pickle, We're almost out of lettuce or cilantro or whatever it is, tomatoes. Like, can you help us? Can you bring it to us? We need it soon. I'm like, yeah, of course. Being a small farm that just serves a couple of different places, it's really easy to be the guy that can come save the day, and it feels nice, And I like being able to talk to the chefs and say like, hey, in a couple weeks, I'm gonna have this ready, so keep that on your radar. And maybe start thinking about what you can do with beets or carrots or whatever new thing I have. Try this out and see what you can do with it, and then have your food returned to you on a beautiful plate, with some other tasty morsels. Yeah, and every now and then I pack a little box of vegetables in the truck to take with me, just, and if I see a beautiful stranger or something, here's some nice stuff for you. So it's a pretty cool, it's got perks. Well, that's why I like being me.